Yo, how's it going, everybody? It is your boy Poppy Wolf, and we're back with another episode of Boruto. And this episode is called 210. It is called Clues to Kara. And wow, this is a one and done episode. Everything here is wrapped up in like the time, and I have to say, this episode is honestly really hard to watch. It is just wow, like it's not boring whatsoever. So I want to explain what I mean by hard to watch, but I feel like we should just kind of explain what I kind of mean. So, okay, the episode begins with Naruto sending both Sai and Konohamaru on a mission to investigate Boro's cult, because it's a cult of the Otsutsuki. They believe in the infant Tsukuyomi, and we don't know what the allegiance this cult has to Kara, and especially with the positions of the 10 tails being changed, they need any leads they can, any possible. I'm sorry, I'm a little drunk, confused. Bear with me. So of course, out of all things, Konohamaru and Sai decide, okay, two-man team, let's go investigate. They pass as people like curious about the cult, and they're getting led into it, and they're kind of seeing like everything here is just all off of blind faith, and it's the same old story. He came into our village when we had a strange virus going around. He restored us, he showed us the way, and they kind of paint the shinobi as these kind of like at fault for the reason why reality is still here, and they could be living in the dream world, and they can all be living paradise essentially. They all truly believe it, and they believe it in the most creepiest way. It is just, it's honestly just, it's hard to swallow how blindly these people follow. Even the people who are hesitant, the people who are like full-on huge devoters, will go out of the way to like shush that doubt and just be like, no, it's all part of Lord Boro's plan. You can't ever question it, because if you question it, you're not truly on board with his plan. Remember what he did for you. Like, it is hard to swallow a pill. And the little plot storyline that goes on with Konohamaru and this girl, Ikari, and her brother Kagiri, and off the bat I already knew it was like, oh, he's a young boy. Shit, dude, he was probably a vessel candidate that didn't make it, and she hasn't seen him for years. And they keep lying that, oh, well, you'll see him again in another 3 years. He's gonna come back eventually. He's been chosen by the gods. That's never a good sign in any fucking in any world, whether it be manga, comics. Anytime someone says, oh, they were chosen by the gods, so they had to go meet the gods, it's never gonna be a good time. I'm just gonna put that out there. But let me take off my follower goal so that's not distracting. But god damn, man, seeing Konohamaru and Sai, like, it's Konohamaru mostly. Sai is very much a fucking ninja, no pun intended, about being a spy and doing covert missions. But for Konohamaru, seeing how blindly these people follow, seeing the pain and the joy they get from this hurts him, because he's like, it's not real. And I have to agree with him to a point. If you're blindly believing something that is like, it does affect people. You were affected. There was no harmlessness in this. There was harm done to you and your families and everything else. So like, yes, this is a problem. You guys are following this person who very much had maybe killed your family members. For Ikari, her parents died because of the virus, and all she had left was her brother. That's why she followed Boro. Boro essentially made them both orphans. There's the peace that they have is all a lie, and I'm sorry, but sometimes you gotta wake up and smell the roses and understand, like, the future that he's promised you guys is darker than the reality that you live in, even if it's painted with a pretty picture. You gotta give it to these episodes. They really like the filling out of them. They make it more enjoyable, and they really do focus on like the character work of it, and it's honestly not bad. I actually, even though this feels very fillery, I actually enjoyed this episode a lot. It's straight out 8 out of 10. But let's continue what happens in the episode. Of course, they warn. Sai's like, look, let's disturb the peace a bit and see what they do. Sai tells the man in charge, look, hey, There's rumors that Boro's dead. I don't want to worry you, but something about Leaf Shinobi killed him, so I'm just gonna put that out there. While that is going on, Jigen has told Code, look, you gotta watch the Ten Tails. And then Delta's like, well, Boro's dead and the Hokage's not there, so we can only assume the worst. And he's like, well, Delta, come back here. You need to clean up the mess and make sure that they don't find out where we're keeping the Ten Tails. Code, just sit your pretty ass over there. And man, seeing like that kind of, like, I want to say, like, you can kind of see it through Jigen. It's annoyance that everything is not going well to plan, and he's trying to figure out, like, so did Sasuke kill Boro? And he's like, dude, it looks like somebody stronger than Sasuke killed Boro. And he's kind of like, fuck, okay, well, that could be many things. Damn. With all that being said, Jigen literally cannot move until he is done healing. So I like that he's stationary, and we have these next couple episodes of him being forced to, like, heal off the chakra. So we're not gonna see Jigen. I mean, we'll probably see Jigen in the episodes, but we're not gonna see him in action for a bit. With furthermore, another thing we gotta take into it, continuing with the story, is how well Konohamaru and Sai are at being like spies and ninjas, sleuthing through, forcing this guy to overplay his hand. He tries to contact Boro. He can't even get in contact with Boro, and they find the book and the test, the collection of all the subjects they've sent over to the labs, and guess what? Every one of them have died. No, I mean, which isn't a big spoiler, since the only ones that we know is alive is Kawaki. But yeah, so knowing that is just, it's tragic. Them chasing this guy, all the followers kind of coming at the worst time, and Konohamaru trying to shake the idea of, like, look, you guys are blindly following somebody. And it isn't until, like, one of the older members is like, so what? He did what was necessary to lead us to the right path. And you kind of see, like, he really did have diehard followers that were just ready to just accept his will, no matter how much he is truly the bad guy. Even when Konohamaru says that he's dead, they would rather die and wait for him at a church that's breaking down because Delta's destroying everything to, like, clean up the mess for Boro. They would rather die. They are vaporized right in front of Konohamaru's eyes, and he witnesses that their devotion to this cult, to this idea, was strong enough that they accepted death with a smile on their face. Oh my god, it's really, like, oh my lord, like, how do you even process that? Like, how do you even, like, go from that thinking, why? You were going this far for a person that you know is a bad guy, but he's done stuff for you, so you're gonna justify it. It's insane, to say the very least, man. And seeing him, just like Konohamaru's expression, I felt that. I was like, oh my god, like, how it's twisted. It is just morbid, and I don't even know how to process it. And then, of course, the girl's crying because she finds out her brother's dead, and Konohamaru's just left feeling remorseful. Like, what more could I do for these people? I gave them the truth, I gave them freedom, but is that what they really wanted? And then when he speaks to Naruto, it's kind of like, we need to stop Kara, because we cannot be having these cults preaching like this. We can't have these situations occurring like this, because people are getting hurt, people are dying, and they're losing their motivation to live. For lack of a better word, I don't even know how the girl was still alive. I thought she'd kill herself at the end of this episode, and if she did, this episode honestly would have been, like, phenomenal, because it was shown the dangers of Kara and their influence. The Akatsuki, yeah, they definitely were, like, a troublesome group of ninjas, but Kara is just this network, this, like, faceless enemy that is just has its tendrils and everything, in innocent people who are exposed and forced to actually have to pay the consequences for this organization. The Akatsuki, no one suffered other than the villages that they would rummage through, and the people that would get in their way. For Kara, everyone's in their way. That being said, guys, yeah, this episode, honestly, it's 9 out of 10. It was pretty good. I really liked it. I said 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10. A- episode. I enjoyed it. It was good. It was like a nice one and done, so everything wraps up really clean. And I honestly enjoyed it. For a filler episode, this was enjoyable. It was just like last week's episode, where there's so much character work and depth into it that you can enjoy it, and it goes by fast enough. There's no slow pacing whatsoever with this episode. It's just, it gets to the point quick, hammers the point across, and then, you know, just ends. I couldn't ask for a better episode. 9 out of 10. That being said, guys, it is I, your spirit guide yokai with a sadistic sense of humor, Poppy Wolf, saying peace out, peace and love, and adios.